Hello YouTube, welcome back to the garage. Another engine strip series, this time a Vespa PX, which is different from the small frame you saw before. The layout's different, so hopefully somebody might find this of interest. Now, the story of this particular engine is that it was in someone's scooter. They were coming home late at night, going rather more quickly for longer than they should have done perhaps, and it seized. They got it home, whipped the engine out, put their spare engine in, kept using the scooter, and then this engine was just left in the corner for some years until it turned up here with me. So we're going to find out what's wrong with it, what's usable, what's savable. There are various bits missing off it which have been obviously nicked by the previous owner over time. So it's on the bench. Let's go and have a look. Right, here it is, our PX engine. It's been sitting for a long time in a shed. The engine does turn. It's missing its gear selector there, but I may have one of them. It is an auto lube engine by the looks of it. Yep, auto lube engine. I do have the flywheel and the stator. They came with it. Although it might be minus fittings. Anyway, that's with it. As is the rear hub. That came with it as well. And the only, oh yeah, clutch. Clutch goes on there. But the clutch that came with it, which is the later type, doesn't want to fit. So we have something unusual going on. We'll find out more about that when we get into the engine itself, because that should mesh with that without any problems, and it doesn't. So, as I say, we will discover more. It's electric start motor, or it was. I have got an electric start somewhere as well. Although, to be honest, I'm quite happy just kicking them. I'm really not that bothered about having an electric start. Okay. So let's tear into it. Right, hopefully you can see that. We have Cat B 11X33. And then underneath VNX1M, and then the number, covered a number up for security purposes. Now, when I first saw Cat B, I assumed that the scooter had been a write-off, because that's one of the categories we have here in the UK, or did have in the UK. I'm not sure if Cat B still exists, but anyway, we certainly did have. Now, I did a bit of research, and Cat B, particularly 11X33 afterwards, in that format, is a German market PX, and the VNX1M categorises it as a German market PX125 Lusso, which I believe is the same as the Archer Baleno, which is basically an auto lube PX125. Now, this code, Cat B 11X33, continued to be used in Germany right up to the Euro 3 motors, which are, the last ones made really, but with a different engine code, obviously, because the engine changed. So there you go. There is an 07 stamped in that circle there. Now, whether that's a year identifier, I'm not entirely sure. It's too late, I think, to be a year identifier. Might just be some sort of casting identifier, I don't know. But anyway, there you go. So it's actually a German market, PX125, auto lube, and clearly electric start. So that's unusual. Not an engine number and coding that you see every day, certainly not here in the UK. And then, if I move you slightly, I don't know if you can see that very well, but underneath the finning, where it's shorter at the bottom next to the crankcase, it's stamped Molossi. So it's kitted. So let's pull the top end down and have a look, but it's clearly stamped up Molossi, so we shall see what we've got. Right, before we take the top end down, I'll just whip the carb box off because it gives a little bit more room around the barrel. It's held by a single screw, flat bladed, quite wide. I'll see if my wide screwdriver bit in my snap-on one will do it. Hopefully it will. Yes, quite loose in fact. Right, so our box just lifts off. Ah, right, more surprises. More surprises. Right, so it's an auto lube engine, but that, can you see that over the top of the yeah, you still see that, right? That is a blanking plug. So somebody's been running it on premix. I also think the inlet port's been taken out slightly. It's hard to tell. We shall see. I think it has, and I think somebody's cut the gasket to suit. Anyway, we shall look at that more closely and take it apart and clean it all. But yeah, so the auto lube has been blanked off and it's no longer functioning. Which is absolutely fine as far as I'm concerned, because a bit like the electric start, I don't really care about auto lube. Two of my previous Vespas have been premix and it never bothered me doing it, to be honest, so that doesn't matter. Right, okay, let's turn our attention again back to the top end. Get a bit of height so you can see things a bit better. Right, there's our cylinder head. Usual stuff. Long stud for the cowl, which I don't have. Although again, I may have one knocking about somewhere, because I do have a lot of old Vespa parts knocking about. Right, 11 milli, as it should be. They are. So we'll just loosen them in a diagonal pattern to begin with, till we get the strain off. To be honest, they're not taut down that tightly on these anyway. That's it. Loose. So there should be a nut, spring washer, hopefully a flat washer, but we'll see when we get them off. I'm not going to try and get the washers out, I'll just tip them out as the head comes off. And we'll see what we got. Yep, flat spring under each one. Molossi head with a rubber O-ring. Good condition. Copper gasket, also in good condition. Right. So if we're lucky, bring that out to top dead centre. That should just slide off, which it does. I'll put my hand underneath to catch the piston, stop it dropping under. It's all very, very clean. Base gasket, metal. Come on, off you come. Sticking on the studs. Right. Studs are tight. Piston looks very clean. Right, let me get the piston off. It's a wire clip. Yeah, wire clip. Not my favourite, as anyone who's watched the small frame videos will know. There, that one's easier to get to. Will our little pick be strong enough? Yes. Right. I don't want that going flying. So we'll just grab that with a pair of pliers, because they're going to be replaced anyway. There we go. Simple wire clip. Now then, will that push out? No, it won't. Okay. Right. We have our patented remover. And that nut should be just the right size to fit in there, which it is. Let me just take out the other piston circlip. Right, we'll try moving this around with a screwdriver. Yes, there we go. Just enough, I think. Yep, there we go. Just got it. There's a reason why these have got to be put in with the open ends not next to the open end there. And now you're seeing why. Because they're a pain in the... You know what. Right. That's got you. Right. Okay, so our nut will go over there, which is just the right size to pull that through, I believe. Maybe not. Okay, let's find something else. Right, all a bit Heath Robinson, but there we go. So that fit through there like that. Once the piston's out, to give the gudgeon pin somewhere to move into, that'll fit in there like that. To push it, once we get enough thread out. Like so. And that'll go down there like that. To provide the push. If we tighten that up, it should come through. Shall we have a look? There we go. Nice and easy. That's it. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? I thought that would have got it. Right, I can't find anything else at the minute, so making sure the crank is fully supported, I'm just going to give it a little tap. There we are. So we were within millimetres, and with the crank supported, nothing's going to happen to it. Now then, how does it feel? There's no up and down movement, which is good, and our little end looks absolutely fine. Our piston's very clean, and our rings are free. Interesting. Okay, can we see inside the barrel? Can you see inside the barrel, more importantly? And there is some very, very light scoring, well, not scoring, marking. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. No, I'm not sure you will. There's next to nothing with that at all. It must have been a very soft seize. That all looks reusable. I'll have to check the rings in the bore, but they look fine. How peculiar. Right. It doesn't look to be imported. That all looks original. Although there's quite a sharp edge there. Right, I've taken a drain screw out, and it's dry, so there's no oil in it. So we want to get the side case off. Oh, there's a tiny bit of oil in it, I'm lying. A bit's just fallen out, but not much. So I have to undo these, and then all the ones around the edge. And then hopefully this will just pop off, which it should do. So again, they're 11 millis. One in there. And then it's round the edge. And then what else have we got? We got one facing that way and three more, oh no, two more there. Right, I'll get an extension for that one. So I'll bring you back in a second once I've undone these, because I'm basically just going to unscrew them now. Right, that's all the fittings off. Had to move these kickstart down slightly to get the bottom one. Now, if that's everything out of the way, it should separate. Probably do it. Very gentle. It always sounds louder on camera than in real life, and I don't know why, but That's really gentle tapping. There we go. And there are the insides of our engine. Now then, a couple of things spring to mind instantly. And that is, it's incredibly clean. And everything is well greased. I wonder. Anyway, let's not speculate yet. So we have our flywheel side bearing in there, which looks in perfect condition. Even the oil seal doesn't seem that hard. Anyway, so there's our crank. Gearbox. We'll come back to look at these more closely as we take them apart. So, let's remove our gasket, which again has been well greased. Oh, that was broken. Okay. So there's no point messing about with that. So we want our crank out really, don't we? So if we turn it round, there's a spacer here and also a woodruff key. So really we need to get the woodruff key out. So we'll try lifting it by tapping at the back. Go. So now the front edge is up. I don't know if you can see that. We can tap it there. And out it comes. Right. So our spacer does come out. It's just a bit sticky. There we go. Right, our spacer. So there's the crank. Sitting in the bearing.